Libyan rebels claim they are in control of most of the country's capital, Tripoli. Two of Gaddafi's sons are arrested, with some reports suggesting the leader himself is in a specialist heart hospital in a town 14 kilometers east of Tripoli. Following a night of chaos in the capital, crowds were seen in the city's central square with people waving revolutionary flags. Now we cross live to journalist Mahdi Nazemroaya, who is in a hotel in Tripoli where foreign journalists have been obliged to stay during the conflict. Mahdi, thank you for being here with us this morning. Now you have been trapped, as most journalists, in the hotel. So tell us what's it been like for you. Were you threatened over the night?
Well, I got fired at the start of the day while I was putting signs saying press. I made signs and put them in the front of the hotel. They fired the hotel. They have snipers. We all feel threatened. It's less now than before, but if the rebels get here, a lot of us feel very insecure about that.
What is the situation there now? What is it like now? Do you hear any gunshots outside of the hotel? Yes.
We haven't stepped outside because of snipers, but there's been looting in the hotel. Right now, I'm in the Libyan Media Authority's office, which is basically you need permission to be in here. I took the liberty to come in here to show you the looting. So you can see the projector up there was taken, and you can see the ladders that they put. They've been going through the rooms of people, even the looters, young men. I don't think they were dangerous at all, but young men who've just come and gone into all the rooms and started collecting things. You can see they broke the doors, the locked doors, and again you can see the ladders to steal the projectors, computers. This has happened in various offices here. I want to also point the fact that the foreign journalists immediately went into these offices because the files kept on them are kept here. The files on all of us visiting Libya are kept here. And they immediately took the chance to come in here and to take the files, basically, because and they weren't happy about it either. And I overheard them speaking about the files, which involves emails from, I think, one of the BBC gentlemen named Roger. Security-based files where he was in liaisons with London.
Well, you remember, Steve, I told you.
Something like that. Because I kind of took a peek. So as you can see, it's a ghost town, and we've all divided. We're not all together now. We're in different places throughout the hotel. Daybreak has come here in Tripoli, and we're hoping that we will be safely taken out by an international contingent from the United Nations, not from NATO. The British are talking about evacuating this place only for 5 nationals. Only for 5 of their people, not the rest of us.
Mahdi, I understand that the situation is very volatile at the moment from what you're saying, but can you tell us if you perhaps hear what's happening outside? Do you hear any gunshots? Do you hear any people there at all? What's been going on?
No, I haven't heard any gunshots. I have been in touch with local Libyans. They are telling me that don't count on things being over. The media, I have to be honest with you, they deliberately scared us a couple times. They took the opportunity to do a photo shoot with us all panicking. Like, but I think it's too soon to say. I don't think this regime's fallen. I really don't believe it. And if what I'm being told is correct, it sounds very plausible because this is based on Yugoslavian tactics, which the Yugoslavians taught the Libyans. The Libyan military and Yugoslavian military had a lot of cooperation agreements, and there was a lot of training from the Yugoslavs here. So this could very well be the Yugoslav model was used here, with a mixture of local tactics and maybe even guerrilla warfare. Anyways, as you can see, there's some of the young men who are looting and are outside now. They're walking around. It's a ghost town. It really is.
You told us earlier that there are snipers outside of the hotel. So who do you think they might be targeting?
They were shooting at us, putting up. They shot at me, putting up a press sign. They shot at the hotel.
Why do you think that international journalists might be the target?
Yeah, there is firing now. Firing has started again. Firing has started again. Or I'm sorry.
I'll repeat my question asked you earlier. So you told us that the snipers are outside of the hotel and they might be targeting you. Why do you think this is the reason? Why do you think they are targeting you, international journalists who are holed up in this hotel?
Maybe Mr. Sarkozy wants a reason to send French troops here, just like he did in the Ivory Coast. You know, a couple of international journalists dead, saying there's chaos. We have to intervene. This is a responsibility to protect. Mr. Sarkozy and his cabinet could easily say that, so can President Obama and Prime Minister David Cameron. You know, a couple of us get killed for multiple reasons, not just that. There's a bloodbath in Tripoli, and they say we can intervene. It's our responsibility to protect. Since they have a responsibility to protect, I'd like to see them go into Bahrain or other parts of the world that are being bombarded. I never saw the responsibility to protect in Rwanda or in Gaza or in Lebanon. So this is preposterous. They were firing at us. Our hotel's been fired at. You know, I'm sure that my colleagues here from the other press agencies will say that they had soldiers in here or something like that. They'll say anything. Civilians, they're using civilian shields, but that's not the case. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie. Even if they're going to kill me, which I'm afraid they might, I'd rather die.
Well, Mahdi, tell us what's happening in your hotel now. How many international journalists are there with you? And tell us, what is the safety situation? I mean, I understand that it's not very impressive there at the moment, but can you describe what everyone is going through emotionally being there?
We are going through, we are teeter-tottering, we are, you know, there's fear, there's anger, there's exhaustion. Let me tell you, a lot of people didn't sleep because of the NATO bombings. The NATO bombings kept us up before this even, because they did an intensive bombing campaign in order to have the insurgents arrive in the Libyan capital. So there was very intense bombing here, and this kept us up. And we're all obviously there's a bit of shock. Some of my colleagues, I have to speak to them very aggressively, but it's only several of us are really afraid for our lives because of the positions we have on this war and our opposition to NATO intervention in a sovereign state. This is illegal. This is a war of aggression. It was not a defensive war whatsoever. They did not protect civilians. That is preposterous. And if anybody believes they protected civilians, that is wrong, because they are bombing civilian facilities. They are launching an offensive. They launched an offensive into Tripoli. How is that? That's very Orwellian. They are not protecting civilians whatsoever. And my colleagues, when they go out, they report about a lot of things, but they don't talk about the civilian deaths. And there's been a lot of civilian deaths. We've been abandoned in this hotel. We've been left here, and we'd really like the international community, specifically an international initiative that is not NATO, which includes the Russian Federation, the People's Republic of China, and several other countries. You know, we have people from Iran's Press TV here. We have people from AFP here. We have people from Telesur, the Cuban National News Agency. All these nations should now speak outside of the contact group. We don't want the contact group because it's an aggressor here. We want a neutral configuration of the international community to come and get us out of here. I personally would. I can't speak for everybody, but there are some other people who hold the same views as me, and we really like to.
You're in a very difficult situation. You've spent a night and being an emotional roller coaster, and we will of course be crossing back to you for more updates. But thank you very much indeed for bringing us what you could, being in those circumstances there, Mahdi Nazemroaya, in a hotel in Tripoli. Tripoli, where most of the international journalists are at the moment. And thank you very much for showing some of the pictures there and what the looters have done to the hotel. Thank you very much indeed, and stay safe if you can. Mahdi Nazemroaya there joining us from Tripoli. And as the mainstream media talks of people waving revolutionary flags all over Tripoli, some independent reports suggest Colonel Gaddafi may be regaining control. Journalist Lizzie Fallon feels it could be the Libyan leader's intentional strategy, to let the rebels in.
I have heard reports that people have come out into Green Square and other parts of the city waving the green flag, and that the Libyan army is in control. Now, what we've heard is that the strategy of the Libyan government and army was to permit the rebels into the city, because previously they have been operating in sleeper cells, and therefore it was very difficult for the Libyan army to know who they were or where they were hiding. So this strategy was part of bringing them out of the woodwork to lead to a direct confrontation so that they could be dealt with quite swiftly. And also we have heard that the tribes, the large tribes of Washafana, Wafala and Tahuna and other tribes came from their areas to Tripoli to join the battle. We have also heard that Gaddafi was in Green Square with the people there. So this is the information that I'm hearing from our contacts across Tripoli. Of course, this is a huge turnaround of events, and if they do turn out to be, if they are confirmed in the coming hours,